this is the 12 Rigs of Christmas. What another nice day in Northern California. Can't beat this weather, let me tell you. Oh no. Whew. Ah. I think I got something coming on. Whew. Whew. Oh, Santa's gotta take a shit. Oh boy, let's see what we can find up here. I'm gonna throw mud. Oh, I think there might be a bathroom in here. Oh boy. Wait 1 second. My kind of people. Oh shit. Whew. Thank God. Whoa.
We got to get some work done today.
No, I know, dude. We've got to finish that line on the front of it.
Dude, do you smell that?
Ew.
Did you leave something on? What is that?
Dude, that smells like shit. Dude, I think somebody's in the bathroom, man.
You want to check?
I needed that.
Ooh, I hear something.
Dude,
It's like
I'll get it. Get back.
You get it? All right, I'm good. Who the hell's here, man?
Oh, shit.
Whoa!
Shit.
Well, sorry, man. Just give Santa a second here. Oh boy, Santa might be in trouble here. Whew. Man, I wouldn't go in there for about 35, 45 minutes.
Santa, thanks for the warning.
Hey, Santa Claus, how you doing?
Good.
I couldn't help but see all this stuff sitting out, and I'm walking through the forest, and I started pushing cotton, and I literally had about 30 seconds to handle that situation.
So you just decided to do a little trespassing?
Yeah, nobody wants Santa's suit,
I'm
full
good,
with
man.
the load,
I'm good.
right?
I'm good. Yeah,
so I figured, we got some Americans that live here. With the exception, there's a lot of Toyota around here.
Yes, there is.
So this is your workshop?
Yes, sir.
So, right when I was walking up, all I can see is Coors Original sign. I knew you were my kind of people, right?
That's right.
And even though I would love to wash my suit right here in the shop, I love the smell. And the ladies kind of flock to that smell that this
kind of an attractant
suit is exuding, yeah. So, you got tons of mounts. This is almost like Santa's workshop. You got a Christmas tree. You're ready for the holidays, huh?
Oh, yeah, already. Oh, absolutely.
So, tell me about this shop. Because you don't see this, old school, small little shop very often with this much vintage iron out front.
With a crummy view out front.
Oh, it's a nice view, let me tell you.
I always love hanging out in the garage. Started working on Land Cruisers 45 years ago.
So you're a Land Cruiser guy, because Santa's kind of a Jeep guy and a full-size Chevy guy.
I know, I got to throw down. Just been a Land Cruiser guy my whole life.
Yeah, look at that, reserved for FJ-40.
Right, but a D18 transfer case sitting there. So
okay, so you got a Jeep case with. I'm with you. Yeah,
we're just checking out our identities.
So you have a lot of Land Cruisers here.
Yes, sir.
And some of them look original, some of them don't, but it seems like every one is highly modified.
Yes.
And they're what I like to call rolling restorations. It's not a one-shot deal. It's constantly changing, right?
Constantly. I've had mine for 45 years. Mm-hmm. I'm still working on it. It's never right.
And have you lived at this location for 45 years?
My whole life.
So there's
almost 60 years.
Lots of family history. Santa knows everything.
Oh, of course.
So, this used to be a carport, and you rebuilt this into your shop, right?
Yes, sir.
And some people would think a guy that has, 10, 15 rigs has a 10,000 square foot metal building shop, all built down on the bottom of the property. But this is as old school as it can get. Look at this. This is all probably second growth redwood. You got stick frame, rough sawn wood. This is the real deal.
It's the original garage built here 65 years ago.
This is old California. People think palm trees and beaches, and this is
Oh, yeah.
Northern California where it happens, right?
Absolutely, yeah. We did a little fixing up, added the bathroom because we hang out here a lot. So we don't
Santa needed that bathroom.
Hey, yeah, it saved the day for Santa.
Well, it's amazing that all the stuff can be built out of this little shop, because part of the thing that Santa wants to tell all the young kids out there is that you don't need that big metal building, all those crazy tools, and all the big money parts. You can come in, get your hands dirty, and make anything you want in your own 2-car garage.
100%. Sometimes it just takes a little more time, but we do the best we can in here.
So nice wood countertop, but you got toolbox tucked underneath because space is a premium here, right?
Right.
All your boxes are down low. Beautiful countertops, beautiful views. Got the flat screen TV.
Right.
Yep. And
got a picture of my daughter. She hates us having that.
Yeah, I was wondering why she was up there. I bet she does not like that picture.
In the stand. She hates it, but we're leaving it up.
Yeah, I think you should.
Yeah, absolutely.
In fact, later on, we'll blow it up even bigger.
Yeah, there you go.
Some of these old signs, amazing. Like I said, Dane 18 transfer case sitting here, cool. Heater assemblies. So, every garage, whoa, look at that.
Everybody has to have Farrah.
I don't think the young kids even know who Farrah Fawcett is.
That's original OG.
This is what I'm more interested in here too, because I'm about done here with this drink. So this is your fridge. Every garage has a fridge.
Oh, of course. You have to have a garage.
You can judge a man by his fridge, right?
I've heard that.
So we're going to open his fridge. Oh, man. This is the only Coors Original I could find. But you do have silver bullets, right? But I noticed that you have all the labels facing out and everything lined up in a perfect row. I think you got a little OCD.
Accused of being OCD, yeah. On occasion.
It's a beautiful fridge, but Santa doesn't run that way. When you got to deliver as many presents as I do, oh, yep, beef,
Elk.
See, you ever heard that thing that Santa just smells like beef and cheese?
No, I smelled it
during the holidays.
earlier.
Oh, you smelled it? Yeah. That's how I know I'm at the right place. Is this your rig?
No, this is not my rig. It's a very good friend of mine, Brandon. You've posted, or we've seen videos.
We've sold tons of parts to Brandon.
Yes.
And I actually didn't even know he was building this.
I'd like to say it's really not his, it's his wife's.
Is his really his?
Yeah. No, it's actually, that's a really good point. They're both his wives, right?
Well, I say we grab Brandon and have him come over and show us
absolutely,
this thing.
Yeah, this is
Hey, Brandon, come over here.
Brandon.
Show us this rig. Santa Claus, you might remember me.
I do. It's happening.
So, Brandon, I had no idea that you were up here at Jim's place building shit, and this thing is unbelievable. So, it looks original, but obviously it's not, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So as I came out of the throne over there and walked across the room with Jim, I noticed that this is not your typical F-head, or what do you call these motors in these Toyota units?
Often the 2F.
2F, yeah.
Inline 6.
Yep. So that right there is what, a 5.3 LS?
That's a 5.3 LM7.
Okay.
So typical, like our go-to for parts or whatever.
Gen 3 LS package.
01 Chevy Tahoe.
Drive-by cable. Was it drive-by cable originally in 01?
This one was, yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I saw a stick with 5 speeds on it right there, right?
Yeah, so we got something unique here. This is a LS to H55 conversion. So you get 5-speed, you got overdrive.
That H55 would be from an FJ-40 later model.
Correct, right? With the split case, transfer case.
And I think you had mentioned this is a 3-to-1 transfer case?
Correct.
Yep. So not that you're making a crawler, but
not at all. It's not the intent of this.
An OEM FJ style to allow for standard FJ style axles, right? So what are the axles in this thing?
Okay, factory FJ-40 front, because this is a 74 model, just simple disc brake conversion. Very easy there. I have something special in the rear. So a project I've been working on is an FJ-60 narrowed back to 40 width so that you get better brake, single wheel cylinder, and internal parking brake, which gives you a little bit longer drive
Because the regular
shaft.
FJs had the parking brake like an old CJ on the back of the transfer case. It takes up space, hard to deal with.
Yep.
So now you've got a later model parking brake on an early FJ offset rear end.
Correct. So that's been a whole side project trying to get that package
And
together.
people say FJ rear ends are not strong enough for V8s, but anybody who's ever worked on early Jeeps or early GM pickups, trucks, Fords, when you pull an FJ axle shaft out, they're almost as big as, you know, they got some girth to them.
They
you know
do.
what I mean?
They do. Yeah.
So it should hold up to this power, especially with, what are these, 31-inch tires?
33 1050.
Oh, 33 1050 Cam 3s.
Factory 15-inch wheel. I blasted and powder coated them.
Factory hubcaps.
Oh yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And let's talk to Santa about this right here. Because this is what makes a guy happy, right?
Absolutely.
So what do you got for your winch here?
All right, so the traditional Warren 8274.
And you did a solenoid upgrade, it looks like.
Yeah, I actually bought that winch from somebody who had done the upgrade, and just really just a cool package for up there.
Saginaw power steering conversion.
Yep.
Got to do on every FJ. But I mean, you're talking, this is almost like factory radiator. You look under the hood, you got a factory power brake booster from a later model FJ. These things were ahead of their time. Hydraulic clutch.
Yep.
ARBs, you put ARBs in this?
Yeah, so I had a spare third that was already set up for ARB, so why not run it?
So it's got ARB in the rear or front?
Rear only.
Front open, yep. And I noticed you did something that Santa really likes.
Oh, I know what's coming.
That is a mechanical fan with a shroud.
Every one of our builds, we try to do you simply upgrade to a 4-row radiator.
Like an FJ 4-row, it'd be like a replacement.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So it's a drop in to the original saddle, and then our buddy Kurt makes these shrouds for us, and you have the simplicity of the mechanical fan.
I mean, it's a beautiful shroud, because he's into sheet metal work, right?
100%,
Yep.
yeah.
And stock clutch fan, and you've done this package before, this thing's gonna run 190 degrees, 210 on the hottest day ever.
Every one of them runs nearly the same.
Yep, yep. I noticed you're gonna run AC on this thing?
Yeah, so the whole intent is this rig is for my wife.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to give every feature comfort to make her want to drive this daily.
Well, everything down to the brake lines on the firewall, to the wiring, everything is just so absolutely perfect in its right place. It's amazing that people are doing this, you know, out of Jim's garage.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, this is truly my second home.
And I mean, the fitment, that steering shaft barely misses the exhaust, fits down past everything. I mean, such close tolerances and everything's perfect. This is something Santa really needs to learn about. So what are those manifolds? Those are a cast center dump manifold.
Yeah, so Speedway Motors, they call it the True Ram, or LS True Ram header.
Yeah.
Very simple. We like that it puts you with your dump just behind the motor mounts.
My dump was just right there.
Oh, Jesus. I smelt that.
Yeah. Oh, not that dump, a different dump. We're not quite done with this, so unfortunately Santa can't take it for a ride, because I can imagine this thing is going to blow some doors leaving a stoplight.
It's a sleeper. It's definitely, it's just going to be fun to drive.
So can you start it for us?
Absolutely.
Oh my God. Just purrs like a kitten. Idle comes right down.
Oh yeah.
Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
And we're in the home stretch. We're down to just some accessory wiring and finish up the interior.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, this is a beautiful ride, and it definitely honed me in on this garage, but you know, it's also the other stuff, like, you know, three-wheeler, just a spare LS sitting on the ground.
Well, we got builds coming up, so you gotta have something in the stable.
And I noticed that that Jim has 2 gas-powered pieces of a lawn tool, you know, garden tool.
100%. I mean,
Newsom says we can't have those.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Look at this. Fat Cat, Honda 50, my kind of place. Well, hey, Jim, you got to show us some other stuff around here. All right. Well, I was just telling Brandon how impressed I am of your iron here,
Thank you.
as they say. Like Honda 70? Come on.
Yeah. My son rebuilt that from a rust pile.
I heard the landlord here is the Grinch, though. You're renting from the Grinch?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And
yeah.
if he came up here and saw me, I did some shit to him last year.
I know! Yeah!
if he sees me, I got to get the hell out of here.
I've seen those videos, and we do have to watch out because he's a little stealthy.
For 40 years, you've been renting from the Grinch. I get it. It's at the top of the hill. What, he's got a cave in the back or something?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, right in there with the dog.
We'll try and keep it down.
Yeah, okay.
You know, Santa crashed one of those when he was 16. Super dangerous. Tell me about the rig that started this whole show that we got here.
Okay, we call this the original OG. I've had it for 45 years. I've been building and building and building, and I was anti-spring over for 40 of those years, and my son and Brandon talked me into changing it, and it's been a world of difference.
So you do some bass fishing too?
Yeah, apparently if it gets one more flake of metal, it turns into a bass boat.
That's a lot of sparkle right there, you know? So once again, FJ axle. So you're still kind of a purist, right?
Pierce, and just like you said, the axle shaft, I've never broken an axle shaft. I broke some stock Burfields a couple of times, but I haven't broken.
I mean, back in the day, everybody put a Chevy 350 with a carburetor, an SM420 or an SM465 in an FJ. They always kept the rear axles. I've seen like maybe 5 broken rear shafts. The shafts are giant.
Yeah.
You know, it's usually breaking the pinion or getting axle wrap or the front output on the transfer case.
And this has your axle wrap parts on it, so don't have that problem.
Well, starting at the front, big obnoxious 80s front bumper, huh?
No, that's Kenworth truck frame.
That's what I'm saying. It's obnoxious 80s style, right?
I love it. That's why I leave it.
Yeah.
I'm old.
Definitely really cool. That was a 12,000 pound winch.
They're heavy.
That's because these things are so goddamn heavy, right?
True that.
Well, before we move to the back, what do you got going here?
Oh, that's Polly Pocket. Her shirt broke, so she's showing a little cleavage there, but
she's almost as hot as Farrah there on the wall.
Oh yeah, no, shoot, I've had her on there forever.
Show me what's under the hood. Everybody always wants to know what's under the hood.
What's running it?
Yeah. And big surprise, Gen 3 LS, huh?
Correct.
So what is this?
It's a LQ4 6.0.
Oh, so it's a 6.0, so truck motor.
Truck motor, 3/4 ton.
And still, you know, pretty original looking inside. Same thing, metal shroud, mechanical fan, clutch fan. Same radiator that's in that one?
Yeah, I'm always the guinea pig.
Yeah.
It gets on here, and if it works, then everybody else steals it.
So this was kind of the first of all the show here. Yeah. You got the same manifolds.
Yeah.
I do notice that you have something that I don't really like, is you got the side exit exhaust. And you get that smell when you're wheeling slow, right? It's kind of comes out and goes in your face. Gets you just high enough to have a really good time four-wheeling.
You know, and when you stop and have a beer.
Yeah, I like the smell of gasoline, tar roofs.
Right.
You know.
Right, it smells like victory.
And exactly, non-catalytic converter exhaust. Absolutely. So this thing's shoehorned in here, tight as hell. Factory brake booster?
Yeah, I got factory axles, front disc. I've always
Was this a factory front disc?
Yes.
What year is it?
78.
Okay, so
I'm sorry, 77.
So 77 had factory front disc.
Yes.
You did go to spring over on this thing. So
Finally.
Are these FJ-60 springs?
No, these are 40 springs.
Okay. And did you do anything to cheat the axle forward?
Every bit I could.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we stretch, and if you look at the tire in relation to the fender, we stretch as much as we can.
And you did something I really like is on the shackle reversal and the spring over, you put the shackle through the frame. So
I feel like it steers better.
And it keeps it as low to the ground as possible with the spring over.
Correct.
High steer with some old school high steer arms. Still 4-bolt knuckles, no 5-bolt knuckles.
I never have a problem with it.
Probably got chromoly bursts in it.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So let's walk around here. I see you stuffed the GM computer right here. Saginaw steering box underneath the winch.
Yep.
So power steering.
Yes.
Now this is where it gets weird. Did you Hispanic chrome your roll cage?
No, I polished the stainless.
So you have a stainless steel roll cage.
Yes.
TIG welded.
Yes.
You know, that's kind of outside the box.
Kind of old school.
Goes with the jet boat sparkle, huh?
Yeah, and the twice pipes.
Oh yeah, twice pipes as they call them, huh?
That's right.
The only thing better is if you had glass packs on there,
that's
you
true.
know. So the inside, like, I mean, original dash, 8,200 miles on that dash.
Yeah, when I restored it 3 years ago, I always zero them out. Oh, I didn't say that.
I noticed there's a picture, is that Clint Eastwood?
That's Clint, yeah. It's my roadie.
Wait, we usually have lady pictures.
Nah.
He likes to ride with you?
Yeah, he's just roadie.
So SM465 is still able to keep the factory heater, just misses the heater.
Yeah, with the LS.
Right? I noticed you got a sweet Kenwood stereo there.
Oh yeah, same. I'm old.
Is it bad that we call that old school?
Yeah, is that really?
Wait, is that an iPod right there?
That's just an old iPhone that my
you got
kids
some
put
music
together
on?
for me, so I don't have to use mine.
For the transfer case on something like this, you did an Orion, right?
Right, correct.
So the whole Orion case and 4-to-1 gear ratio.
Correct.
So you got 6.5 on a 465, something like that. So you got
373 in the axles.
nice low, factory 373 gears.
No,
huh?
it's 411. I put 373.
So you get down the road better.
get down and still with 4-to-1.
No overdrive. And then
Yeah.
I didn't even look. These are 35s.
Yes.
Okay.
I can't fit a 37.
All right. So
going full car.
classic interior, classic center console. Dangerous as hell for anybody to sit in the back
Absolutely.
here when you're four-wheeling.
I live
but
a little bit.
Fairly American, and I imagine many kids have ridden back here, driven around, your son, everything.
For 45 years.
Yeah. Did anybody die?
Not yet.
You know what they say, but did they die?
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, speaker cans, the whole
Yeah.
game just exudes old school, and this is where it all started.
No
right?
plastic gas cans. We got metal.
Yeah, oh yeah. Metal gas, extra gas cans, tank under the seat, original size,
Original,
right?
yeah.
But the LS gets such great mileage, you don't even really have to use these, right?
No, but I
Yeah.
do on
Okay.
occasion.
Well, anything special back here?
Just a winch.
You got a rear winch?
Yes.
Holy shit. So, check this out too. WFO torque arm. The beauty of an FJ, the axle is so far off
Yeah.
to the side, the torque arm is literally
Yeah.
in the middle of the axle.
And again, don't cut us up, but that was our first one. We put it down a little too low, so it drags. But
I actually want it there because
Okay.
it protects the drive line.
I knew that. That's why I did it.
I'm 100%. I love exactly where it is. That's what it's made to do.
Santa's always right.
Yep. And then with the factory spring, you're not twisting your springs up, breaking your spring. And that's why people break pinions in FJs.
Yeah.
Pinion comes up, binds the U-joint, breaks a pinion. So that is a 12,000 in the back.
Yeah, I do a lot of snow. And
Oh
you'd be
my
surprised.
gosh.
I end up using that one more than the front.
That is ridiculous.
Gets me out of the trouble I got into.
And then like steel wheels, 15s, huh?
Chrome spoke.
Yeah,
Wagon
old
wheels.
school shit, right? These are coming back around. I guess at SEMA this year, Jackman just started making steel wheels again.
And my kids, they hate them, but I love them.
What do we got here?
Okay, so this is my son's rig.
Okay, and the son that was riding in the back of this 30
Yes,
years
that never
ago.
got killed.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Right.
So a lot of diamond plate, another,
Yeah.
rolling restoration.
Yeah.
So half cab, FJ, it's a 40, right? So
Yeah,
it's a 40,
40.
with the bed chopped, homemade half cab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put together. He takes it off, but it's good for winter.
And still FJ axles in it.
Yeah, so it's 60 in the back, cut down.
Wait, what? Okay,
Yeah,
so
just like Brandon's grocery.
So FJ60 cut down, okay. Stretch back a little, the 60 springs flip for wheelbase.
Yep.
What's under the hood of this one?
Okay, you want to have Connor come in on this one?
Yeah, let's do
Connor.
that. All right, so Connor,
Yes, sir.
Santa, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Santa.
Yeah, some of the things you've been doing are not appropriate, so I'm gonna think about that this year.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good.
You may not get shit. I'm not getting you that magazine subscription again, if you know what I mean.
Damn it, dude.
So this is your rig. We looked at your dad's, we looked at this one. Always the youngest has the most beat down, but actually wheels it the hardest.
patina. This is what we call patina. This is the ugly one of the group.
And when they say I don't want to go up that, you get in front and you go up it, right?
Pretty much, I break the ice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So FJ-40,
FJ-40,
spring over,
spring over, FJ-60 housings.
shackles in the front,
Shackles
which I
in the
love.
front.
Climbs a lot better.
Yep.
Doesn't need a long slip front drive shaft.
No.
Some old school fab diamond plate fenders and things like that. 12,000 pound winch. Let's just start right now. What do you got under the hood?
Let's check it out.
Probably a 4-cylinder.
Yeah, it's a 4-bay.
Of course, just like this is like rinse, wash, repeat, right?
Pretty much. This one needs to be washed. You see that?
LS engine. What displacement is this?
It's a 5.3.
He's a little bit bigger than you.
He's got to be bigger. He's always dad.
You know they say there's no replacement for displacement. Yeah. Mechanical fan, clutch fan.
Same shroud
or
again.
a clutch fan and a shroud, so it stays cold, never overheats.
Nope, never.
I mean, I could see the factory power steering pump that came on the truck out of the junkyard. Alternator with junkyard writing on it.
Yeah.
So this is just a pick it out of a
Pick
wrecking
it out
yard
and throw it in.
dump it in.
And hope for the best.
Toyota Everything else Toyota. Got the computer tucked right down in here, just like all the other ones.
Yep.
ARB compressor. You got ARBs front and rear on this?
Yes, sir.
Dude, nice. So very easy to maneuver, but you're not running 35s like Dad, right?
No, I got 37s.
Yeah, and you have a little something that came in during the 90s is 17-inch rims, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, 15s are cool, but 17s are where it's at, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Exactly. Then we got 1.5-inch wheel spacers.
Okay.
You know, give it a little bit more stance.
These are 60 axles, right?
Yes,
FJ-60? Not Dana 60. Like, all you Jeep and
Not
Chevy
Dana
guys,
60,
don't get confused.
FJ-60.
When we say 60, we're talking about FJ-60 axles.
Yes, sir.
So, still don't even have 6-shooter knuckles. You got high steer, no hydro assist, so you're pushing this thing to get in and out of places, right?
Yeah.
So the first thing I noticed was this badass diamond plate job, completely welded to this kind of custom half cab 40. So
Yes,
you
sir.
didn't do this, right?
I didn't do the half cab. We bought it like that from Marysville from a guy. We've kind of, you know, pieced it back together. Like we finished up some welds everywhere on the fenders, but it's cool. Like I got road rash and doesn't dent it.
And this is actually a rock slider because this is
Yes,
2x2 tubing built into this.
Yes, sir.
So just like your dad's, why is this silver here?
It's stainless.
Stainless steel roll cage. I mean, that is, you got some street credit when you roll up with stainless steel roll
Yeah,
cage.
everyone always had something to say about it when I roll up.
So, you know, I noticed you're a little guy. You're a little short.
little
you know.
shorty.
Sorry about that, because this seat is about a foot up in the air, so you can see out of this, you know.
Yes. Well, the problem we had was we couldn't get it lower than the gas tank, so
Gotcha.
the seat sits higher.
Yeah.
But we did the best we could to make it all work.
That's what you little guys can do.
Yeah.
This is a little bit different. You have a regular Toyota 4-speed transmission, right?
Yes, sir.
And what do you got for your transfer case?
It's an Orion.
Orion?
Orion.
I call that an Orion.
Orion.
So 4-to-1 in the transfer case, and then what gears do you have in the axles?
It's 4.
He doesn't know.
I forget.
He's got 456s in there. Santa knows.
456s.
I noticed you got some tunes in here. Look at those baby little speaker cans
babies.
up there.
Got on tweeters.
You're just a little guy. This top's kind of cool. Been cut and welded back together so you can have a short half cabin. I assume you have doors.
I have doors, and I have the back doors that go on the back as well.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Since they cut the whole top down, so those doors would be off of that would be the ambulance style FJ-40,
Yes,
right?
the
So
ones
it's
that
the
come
upper
out.
part of the ambulance.
Yes.
But you don't have the tailgate part that swings down here, so there's just
No.
an opening back here.
Yes.
But it is actually doors that close off the back of the cab.
Correct.
Toolbox, because you probably break down all the time.
Actually, you know, I've had some pretty good luck.
All right.
Gotta have if you don't have the parts, that's when you break.
That's awesome. And then we know what this is for.
Cooler.
Ice chest rack. I like
Sir. Or the speaker.
it. Yep. Oh, borrow one from Webb.
Yes.
Yeah, you get a couple of them house speakers. They really get it on.
Sometimes I mount it on top of the roll cage.
Absolutely. So once again, look in the back of this. I noticed this on your dad's. So you guys cut these pieces of steel out, so when you're strapping it on the trailer, you just hook to that.
Just hook it with like regular tow truck hooks, and
That's awesome.
You're off and running.
And you have another WFO torque arm right there in the middle, right to the factory FJ-40 tubular cross member.
Yes, sir.
Dude, that makes it so easy to hook it up.
Super easy.
FJ-60 rear end and the old little baby shocks angled in the back there. I mean, this is kind of as old school as it gets, but it's still, it gets you around on wheels like a son of a bitch, huh?
Yeah, parties.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to have this big, crazy built rig, but the LS engine is obviously nice. right?
That makes it a little better.
Well, she's beautiful. I hope to see this at the Hammers.
Yes, it'll be there.
You know, it's a whole different rig than Brandon's, huh?
Yes.
Man, it just keeps better going down the list. Hey, Brandon, get over here. All right, so Brandon, we're kind of progressing down the row here.
Absolutely.
And we've kind of completely veered from OEM FJ and gone to damn near full-on buggy, right? This thing's
close.
the next level up, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about this thing. We've sold you a ton of parts. We've done a bunch of work on this for you, but you know, you basically built this thing in your garage as well. Did you build it here or at your house?
Most of this was done at my house. Then it came here for the engine swap. Then it went to your shop to 3-link the front. Then back to my house for more fab work. Then back here for wiring.
Okay.
So
I mean, this thing is one of our favorite builds, bar none. and it just kind of goes along with the cohesiveness of this collection, as I'd like to call it.
There's a lot going on.
And this is the extreme side of it. So
It is.
First off, what year is it?
78.
So 78 FJ-40 Toyota Land Cruiser for all those Chevy and Jeep guys.
Yep.
Feel like Toyota was trying to go after the Jeeps a little, or was Jeep trying to go after Toyota?
Toyota went after Jeep in the war effort.
Yeah. So FJ-40, and this is original paint patina, I believe, right?
There are a couple spots that have been repainted at some time, but with the factory color. But there's, it's...
So it was a rust-free, clean paint, like gorgeous rig. Yeah. So you've done everything to it. So let's start from the front and go to the back. I mean, the frame's plated, it's tubed, winch, full width axle. So what is the front axle in this?
89 F350 Kingpin 60.
And so we built that up at the shop. The guys in the gear and axle shop put that together for you. And it has reed knuckles, chrome alloy axles, 35 spline outers.
Yep.
It has our WFO low profile 3-link truss on it.
Yep.
And we did that the last round it was up at the shop. And
Exactly.
I know that it's hard for you, who has the capability of doing all this building, to bring it to us to do portions of the work, but it just allows you to kind of speed up your process, right?
Well, it does, and my talents run out. So I'm not afraid to say I need help doing something that I don't understand.
And your talents are the fit, the finish, the plumbing, the electrical, like everything you guys have done with all these, they say the last 10% is 90%. That's what I'm seeing over there. So for us to help you with a little underneath mechanical stuff, it just helped you down that path.
Absolutely.
Or chassis suspension. So we did a 3-link with our truss, and the upper 3rd link is on the driver's side, on the top of the truss.
Yeah, that was a tight fit.
And it's a driver's side drop diff because we feel that works the best with the LS engine package. And high pin Kingpin 60, we could start with the used axle housing, right? So this has our crossover steering on it, and due to how low it is in the up travel and this clearance between the pitman arm and the tie rod here, we had to keep the tie rod down low, right?
Yeah, so I want to say that's my 3rd tie rod.
Because that is the low-hanging fruit. That's the first thing you're gonna hit.
You hear it in the shop all the time, but they become a rainbow.
And here's the thing. When you took a hit on 2-inch quarter wall, or sorry, 1.5-inch quarter wall DOM, it didn't leave you stranded on that trip, right?
No, not at all.
You wheeled it, came home, it was bent, and then you spent $85 on 2 tube inserts in a tube and
there you go.
Put it back together.
Yeah.
Hydro assist down low. It also has to sacrifice and be in a lower situation to get low to the ground and up travel as well. But nothing's left you stranded out on the trail, right?
Not since I've built it this way.
Yeah. But I mean, of this suspension geometry.
No, not at all.
You got air bumps on this thing. Looks like you about 4 inches of up travel on it. Frame fully plated. Like we said, 3-link. And you got 538 gears?
538s.
And then ARBs front and rear?
ARB front, Grizzly rear.
Okay. 40-inch Pro Comps on the old Raceline steel wheels.
Yep.
Why don't you pop the hood and show us what's under the hood? I can guess what's under here.
Okay, like a wild guess or what?
So it does look a little different than the other FJ packages.
So I'm going to break the mold on this one. The 5.3 is the same as the others that we like to do. Mechanical fan, 4-row radiator, keep it simple there. But then I'm running Hydro Boost.
So with the Dana 60, and I forget you got a 14 bolt in the rear, right?
Yep.
So with the bigger brakes, bigger axles, all that, you start to limit out on an FJ booster and master cylinder. You're not going to get a pedal, right?
You have to have more.
And so you and I talked, and you went right to Hydro Boost.
Yep.
So a GM style Hydro Boost brake setup running off of the PSC pump that also pushes the PSC Hydro Assist steering that's out on the front of the frame, and that works great now, right?
Oh, no issues.
Brakes are unbelievable, yeah. Man, I mean, I'm looking at this thing, and we got line lock, I love the strut tower from the shocks. Shock towers going side to side. That's something we did, I believe, right?
So that was all Andrew's work.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's right. Andrew was the first. He's the one that linked this.
You got to remember, he got thrown into the tank.
So Andrew had to have been 19 years old when he did this. 19 or 20.
Yeah, you dipped them right into this.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So as we move back on this thing, it just keeps on producing. Like, well, actually, before we move the back, something very different. This front end is much further forward than all the other ones.
Absolutely. I'm at like 104 and something wheelbase.
Which is why we're running into the steering issue of the Pitman arm and all that.
Correct.
I mean, your frame's extended and the end of the steering box is literally almost touching the bumper.
Yeah.
So that box couldn't be any further forward.
No.
Yeah.
No, and then, evolution keeps taking more fender away.
Yeah, to get the tires to stop rubbing.
Yeah, so future project, tube fenders, but right now I'm just rolling with it.
And people want to stretch and they don't realize, like, it's not, like, you can't just rebuild a fender here because you're still in the middle of the up travel of the front axle.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're even eating into the core support. So as you work your way back, really cool sliders. Did you build these?
No, that's actually built by FC.
Oh, yeah. I love
so
that.
FC built sliders and cage.
That's awesome. Cage has that kind of front slant going fast look to it.
Yep.
Doors, are these aftermarket or original?
Those are homebrew cut down doors.
God, they're gorgeous.
Yeah, I fortunately scored those and somebody had put a ton of work into them.
That is a lot of work. So half doors. So looking inside here, you have the full side-to-side man-free tank under the seats, right?
Yeah, so 28-gallon fuel cell.
So 28 with an LS, you could drive like 500 miles.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Factory gauges, ARB, like pretty old school FJ looking inside. You know?
Like anything we do, even if we modify it, we still want it to feel original. So that was kind of my thing here, is keeping things kind of original, but then you start adding things in and where do you put it? Small vehicles are tough.
Well, I mean, one of my favorite things is you still have the rear view mirror. Like,
right.
Having a good rear view mirror is important.
Absolutely.
And no matter what, if it's a full rock crawler buggy or whatever, you need to see out. Tell us what that little unit is underneath the steering wheel there.
Oh, that's a PTO switch. So with the ARB compressor, we like to eliminate anything electronically possible.
Mm-hmm.
So the simplicity is it's an air line in, it's an air line out.
So that switch runs the air lockers.
Runs the front locker.
So it's a mechanical air valve.
Exactly.
That is awesome. And how's that work? Show us how that works.
Yeah, so it's just really simple. It's in, it's out.
Are you serious? That's awesome. I notice that's an NV4500, huh?
That is, yep.
And then those two little guys down there.
We got an Atlas going on.
And so now you've gone completely different than the other guys, because now you got a centered rear end, because the Atlas is centered rear drop, right?
Yeah, that was a big debate on this build.
So yeah, do I do an Orion or do I do an Atlas? So you got to be about 100 to 1 in first.
It's got a great crawl ratio.
Yeah. And then as you come to the back, once again, huge rear stretch, right?
It's back as far as I can get it without doing the full comp cut.
And are these FJ-60 springs turned around?
They are. So backwards gave me a couple more inches.
Yep. And 14 bolt rear.
14 bolt rear, so that was a factory disc model.
Oh, sweet. So take a look underneath here. It's so far back, you can see the whole diff so easy with no rear tank. So factory rear disc brakes, outboarded the rear shocks, which is actually really cool on an FJ. A lot more stability with the Kings outboarded. 2.0 Kings. Has our axle wrap bar on the driver's side, and that's because of the exhaust, right?
Exactly.
Yep, and so with the driver's side drop front diff, you run the exhaust down the passenger side. Rubber bumps back there, great belly pan skid plate setup. Looks like a MagnaFlow exhaust, dual into one.
Yep.
I mean, just got to be one of the most epic FJs that I've seen, and still has the split rear bumper, 40-inch spare, ice chest on the back. So this is a dual swing, right?
Correct.
Yep. So I mean, this thing, perfect on the highway. Bitching at the Rubicon Fordyce, the hammers. I mean, what do you want to do differently? What do you want to change?
Well, we talked about this a little bit before, but I would like a little more wheelbase out of this. So in that, we're going to 4-link it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming up.
It'll happen, but as of right now, there's nothing wrong with how it's set up.
No, like, so since I finished this build, I've changed the oil, and that's probably it.
That's
it just
awesome.
works really well.
That is great. But what's this?
So this is cool. This is Tim's 74
Okay.
that was modeled almost identical after Jim's build.
So they look very similar. Wait a second, they got the same bumper. Look at that. And that's a Kenworth bumper?
You think they worked in the same place?
I think that they were at the same place.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So right about 4 years ago, we did a full restoration on this for Tim.
And you were a big part of this. It was Jim and you.
Huge part. So once I convinced Jim that spring over and getting these things set up a little bit better suspension wise was the way to go, same thing to Tim's.
Yeah.
So frame off, everything. We've got your frame plates for the rear.
We got to look under the hood, then we'll work our way back.
All right, now.
No hood latch.
No, not on 74.
74 has no safety. So, same thing.
I know. I don't want to be, we don't want to be like the one-trick pony, but it works.
Yep. So you got the fuses for the fuel injection, computer mounted here, same exhaust manifolds. This has the same side exit, twice pipes, as Jim would say.
Oh yeah,
you know,
it's going old school.
the old school. Yeah, even old school battery. Look at that.
Yeah, duals.
Yeah. Oh, dual battery. I didn't even see it. That's cool.
They're running front and rear winches.
These guys both have 12,000 pound front and rear winches.
Both of them.
Hey, 1985 called. They want their 300 pound winches back. You know?
Right.
The one thing I do appreciate, cable.
Cable.
I don't think I saw any rope on any of the old ones. I bet yours has a rope, huh? No?
That one's running cable.
Cable. All right. Oh,
Yeah.
you got rope? Come on.
So LQ4,
Yeah.
I want to say this came out of it's like an 06 Denali, was drive-by-wire, and
Yeah.
I converted it back to cable.
Okay. And why do you go back to cable? Because I love drive-by-wire.
I like the simplicity of things being mechanical in another spot that can't fail on the trail.
So whose wiring harness are you guys using on all these?
Howell.
Oh, you're using Howell. So when you send or call Howell for a harness, you specify, I got this one, I'm going to change it back to drive-by-wire, I'm going to, it's a manual transmission, it's automatic transmission. And are these, I didn't even touch on this, are these all running mass airflow or speed density?
Mass airflow.
All these have mass airflow, okay, nice. And did you have to tune all these afterwards?
Nope.
Fire and go.
Yeah, you fire, and it's they tell you that in their process for like the first 20 starts, they continue to learn themselves. And then they just purr.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all these LS swaps and all these kids running Holly setups and dyno tuning and spending all that time and effort after the fact of getting the build done.
Yeah.
You guys literally turned the key, fired them up, and been driving all these rigs.
And go for it.
Yeah. So I'm a firm believer of the GM computer and letting the motor do what it's supposed to do. As you get to turbos and nasty cams and all that stuff, you have no choice to get another operating system or tune. But as of the fact that you can get out of the box packages from places like SpearTech, Howell, different companies like that is absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
you supply the motor,
great to work with.
You make the phone call, and I believe that's only like what, about a $700 wiring harness maybe?
Yeah, by the time you get the fuel pump package and everything, you're right in about $1,000.
Yeah, see, that's not, and you're running, we forgot to touch on this, all of these are running external fuel pumps, right? That way if you have fuel pump failure, you just replace the fuel pump.
Easy to access, right under the frame rail, and go for it.
And now this is a two fuel line system. Are any of them one line systems?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just run a standard filter, standard pump, return into the tank.
Yep.
Bitchin'. All right, well, let's close this and latch it. So once again, beautiful mechanical fan, shroud, heavy duty aftermarket, stock style radiator, Saginaw steering in the front, high steer on the FJ axle. This one you guys actually powder coated the axle and made it pretty, huh?
That's actually sprayed.
That is spray, huh?
Yeah.
And then I can't help but see the front diff sticking up, and that is something we forgot to touch base on all of these. So every FJ-40, every FJ-60 didn't come with power steering. So in order to do that, they expected you to have 0 degrees of caster, because that's what lets manual steering turn good.
Yep.
So now you roll back to 5 or 6 degrees of caster, you want to run with power steering, your pinion points down at the dirt,
Exactly.
right? So all of these housings have been cut and turned?
Cut and turned.
Meaning the bell on the end of the housing that houses the knuckle, you cut it off, twist it, and re-weld it back in.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that basically brings your front pinion up, but with your caster still back.
Yeah, so you can get back between the ideal like 3 and 5 degrees.
Yes, yep. So as we move back on this thing, again, another
More stainless.
stainless steel roll cage, all original looking in here. This thing have a 5-speed or a 4-speed?
SM465.
So just like Jim's.
Yep.
Yep. 465, gotta love the old school Toyota e-brakes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Does this have an Orion as well?
of course it does.
So Orion transfer case.
Yep.
All original kind of looking inside it. Like Santa just wants to get in the back of that and go for a ride.
It would
you
make
know?
a great sleigh.
Yeah, it's a little high up, but you got your toolbox underneath because,
Right.
you know, these Toyota guys do have to carry a lot of parts because, you know.
I mean, do you want to start on this? Because you could fit a lot of presents in that trailer.
So we're moving to the back here. Like you said, this is not a military Jeep trailer, huh?
No, this is a home build. I don't even know. I want to say like mid 90s-ish.
Yeah. And 15-inch steel wheels, 35-inch tires. What a cool unit, you know. Not a military Jeep trailer, but the equivalent for the FJ, panel hitch, gas cans. Looks like it's got the tailgate. So you can't double this one as a hot tub unless you get really good sealing on the tailgate.
I don't know. We could line it.
Yeah, we could definitely do it, but I mean, just a great package from front to back.
Absolutely,
you know?
super clean rig, runs great, and
Perfect down the highway. I mean, you drive this thing to the trail.
It is just fantastic.
Sweet. Well, let's move forward again. What do you got going over here? What has Jim got going over here?
All right, so what you're looking at here is our upcoming projects.
Okay.
So
The people in the Midwest and across the country and the down south and South Texas and Florida and all that, they're not going to run into something like these, right?
they're probably not.
So I couldn't help but notice the elephant in the room. Hey Jimmy, I see you got one under a tarp over here. There's got to be something going on here.
What do you think's going on?
Well, we're surrounded by all these Toyota guys. I'm thinking this might not be a Toyota.
It looks a little short.
Well, grab the side of that tarp. Let's find out what we got going. Now we're talking. This definitely doesn't fit the cohesiveness of the package, right?
It's not at all. Not at all.
It is absolutely gorgeous.
So this project, it's a 1957 CJ5, and one of our close friends asked us to build him a Jeep. And normally that's nothing we would do. All of our hardware that we have here is metric, so it became a whole just trying to understand what to do and how to go about it, and I don't know anything about them. So I had to call you.
I remember you gave me the phone call and said, hey, I'm thinking about putting together a CJ5. What should we do? And you explained you want to be kind of a resto mod, not crazy four-wheeler, driver, go get ice cream,
Yep.
you know, pull wheelies off the stoplight, you know, have a nice package. And this is the first time I've seen it in person, and it is absolutely unbelievable. So I guess we start from the front and work our way to the back, right? So
wherever you want to start.
what do you got here? You got a little.
There's somehow if you're at the Nedge house, there's a figurine on a vehicle.
Nice. Starting with the worn 8274, the new.
The new
yep.
8274.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, that
Yep.
is a absolutely beautiful winch.
Steel cable.
Steel cable.
Fits the whole package.
Yeah.
Love the front bumper. This is how we do it. Love that you sunk the winch down and in the bumper to keep it, you know, less obtrusive there. Saginaw power steering up front. And is the frame extended in the front here?
It's not.
The frame is not extended. So
factory length.
later model CJ, you can't fit the 8274 in, but this one fit in real nice. There's still a couple inches between the grill. Looks like you have a WFO shackle reversal up front there,
Exactly.
and BDS 2.5-inch Wrangler springs,
Correct.
spring under. And then what differential is that?
All right, so you put together, or Alan and the guys at the gear shop put together a Model 30 for me.
Gotcha. So Model 30 in the front, is this wide track?
It is.
Yeah, so wide track 56 inches wide, but still a CJ front axle, you know, real cohesive to the build. We did our DOM steering on this thing. It's keeping it clean with standard style tie rod ends on there. And then Fox shocks, disc brakes in the front, of course, right?
Of course.
All right. And I noticed, just like all the others, just like we like to do it on the CJs, shackle reversal with the shackle through the frame.
Exactly.
So basically that's just our universal CJ shackle reversal kit.
Yeah, it gives you a good ride height.
Yep. And with the 2.5s in, what size tires are these?
These are 33 1250s.
So 33s, 2.5-inch spring under. I mean, it's actually really the perfect height.
yeah.
Notice here on your factory CJ late model hubs, you did the stud kit that we sell.
Correct.
Change it to studs, those bolts always come loose. Well, we got to see what's under the hood. We're right here.
You're right here.
You have a, oh, look at that. Even down to the fact that you have the latch up top there. Okay, this is not a factory early CJ
It's
motor.
not. So this came out of a 99 S10.
Okay. So it's a 4.3 V6.
4.3 V6. It's hard to package anything in these rigs.
So these have the short fender front, so there's no length to fit a V8 comfortably in these.
No, or you know, we had to go to an electric fan. We didn't have a choice.
So with this engine and what you got going, you have no choice. You can't fit a mechanical fan in here.
I mean, it's tight. If it just back to the firewall here, we're barely,
it looks like
barely
a
a finger
3/16 of an inch there.
width. Yeah,
And once again, Howell computer and wiring harness.
exactly.
And then these didn't have built-in fuse panels and wiring, so you brought all your electrical here to the firewall.
Yep,
Rewired everything, obviously.
everything.
I mean, this was a frame-off restoration.
100%.
Ground up, right? What did it take you guys, about a year?
Yeah, because we work on different things at different times.
You both have full-time jobs.
And this is a hobby.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, it's what can we get? Do we get 2 weeks or, you know, 2 days this week and 1 day the next, or how's it work?
I love to see some of the simple things. You know, the Ford shock towers that we sell are just so easy to put in there and be done.
Yep.
You know, running your wiring, just a nice, simple block right there on the fender for doing your wiring.
That's all Jim's handiwork.
That's very, very clean and nice. What do you got here?
We got some hydro boost going on.
So not a lot of room for a booster, would hit the valve cover. These didn't even have swing pedals, right?
Yeah, so that was a whole complicated section there, trying to figure out how to package that. And there were clearance issues in every direction that I turned.
Anybody who's building an early CJ, it's impossible to just buy a pedal assembly and put it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to fab and build and make everything work.
Yeah, so Willwood came through with a pedal assembly, but even then that had to be modified.
Yeah, it doesn't fit. You're just making all the brackets and mounting points and everything else. So that came with the hydraulic clutch and the brake setup.
Yep.
And as we move around here, so I could see the pedals right there on each side of the column. So that is a Willwood swing pedal assembly.
Exactly.
Okay, and the gas pedal fit in, and then look at that. You have a nice aftermarket tilt column.
Yeah,
that's still a really small tube like the factory one.
Yeah, that's made by, I did it.
That's nice. That fit in awesome, and doesn't have the key on it. Just tilt, because these had the key on the dash. Keep it kind of period correct in here.
Exactly.
Well, the funny thing is, there was another beer sitting in here. All right. So tell us about transmission transfer case setup in this.
Okay, so SM465, back to the stock Dana 18.
This almost looks factory coming through the floor. Like you modified the factory tunnel just to look that clean.
We cut the heck out of that tunnel.
Yep, so it's raised up, I see.
Yeah.
465 Dana 18, it's a twin stick 18.
Yep.
So you have one of these that's in and out of four-wheel drive, and one of them's high-low. So you could do two low if you want in the Dana 18. And the whole thing about these Jeeps is the Dana 18 is much like an FJ-40 transfer case, is that it's short and it offsets both the front output and the rear output to one side of the vehicle, right? And in doing that, it drops it down about 5 inches, because you're talking short rear driveline, right?
Oh, real short.
So before we go underneath there, let's finish off on the inside here. So you built a nice roll cage, family style, right?
Yeah, family style. They've got kids, and you know, it's
This looks like 1 3/4.
yeah, DOM.
1 3/4 DOM, old school foam zip. I mean, this kind of stuff makes me smile right here.
Yeah, this is the anti-headbanger.
We
right
did
here.
this to every roll cage, you know, when we were younger. They actually updated it to shoulder harnesses. I think that's nice for the safety of driving around town.
Mandatory.
Yep.
I think one of my favorite upgrades that I did in here was cutting the tub and bringing the seats further
The
back.
fender notch is extremely important. Why don't you show what you did over there?
Yeah, so basically you're simply cutting vertically, notching this whole section out and laying it back, trying to get 2.5 to 3 inches more leg.
And you can see that in that rear fender from the outside, right?
Yep,
If you look in the
through
fender well.
outside here.
Yeah. So you got 3 inches out of that, which allows these best top seats to sit back another 3 inches. That gives you the foot room to even allow the swing pedals to function.
Absolutely.
Like, you can't use swing pedals if you don't move the seat back. That's why they had the through the floor that kind of moves your foot forward as you're using it. So moving to the back, you added a back seat, which I'm sure this Jeep didn't have a back seat when you got it.
I did not.
These
Yeah.
look like some WFO speaker cans.
Oh, of course they are.
Nice and down low and kind of hidden. And then, oh, look at that.
Look at this. So,
Swinging rear.
yeah.
And it's got a Willys tailgate.
Yeah, so that's all original.
Okay.
The body itself was in pretty good shape. Minimal patchwork was necessary. Let's see.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, so the seat also doubles as a storage box.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
So I see those pins right there. You pull the pin and tip it up? Is
Yeah,
that how it
basically.
works? Okay. No way. I've never seen that tip all the way. So the seat belts are attached to that. So those pins actually are part of your safety factor when you got the seat belts in, you're in the back of the Jeep.
And they're all stainless, yep.
Oh, those are all stainless.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So did you build this whole swinging back bumper or everything?
Yeah, I just started with some scrap and went for it.
And you built the toolbox too, or was that purchased?
Our buddy Kurt that built
Yeah.
the cage for us
Uh-huh.
built the box at the same time.
That's bitching.
Yeah.
I mean, because real estate is, you know, not easy on a CJ5.
It's not. I mean, look at trying to get the seat to that exact point of allowing the tailgate to close.
And in order to do that, the seat actually sticks out behind the Jeep. Like, you couldn't put a top on. Your heads are all even back here too.
Well, I mean, that's a difficulty too with the family cage of.
How do you protect yourself at a CJ5? So like
Yeah.
we talked about on the phone, building a CJ5, don't do it.
It's tough.
It's a pain in the butt.
Maybe
Yeah.
with a stretch tub, sure.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you definitely got to latch those.
Yeah, that's a
There we
mandatory.
go. Otherwise, somebody's going to sit in that seat and flip up, right? As far as the rear end goes, you said, hey, I want to build a pair of axles for this thing, for this kind of old school,
Yep.
not so crazy Restomon. So what did we do on the rear here?
All right, so you did a custom offset 44.
That's bitchin'.
And if I remember right, that was like around a 2014 JK.
So yeah, so that's a JK rear end with 3-inch axle tubes, non-Rubicon model. And then we put billet big bearing Ford 9-inch housing in, set 20 bearings. And that way you have brand new style drum brakes.
Exactly.
You know, you don't have the e-brake hooked up, but you could have a really nice e-brake on this thing. As far as in the drums, because you have the e-brake on the transfer case, right?
Exactly.
Yep, factory style. So great housing, nice and strong. Once again, wide track CJ width, right?
Exactly.
Look at that stainless steel exhaust. That is gorgeous. See, you got our spring hanger, shackles, U-bolts, plates, all the cookie cutter CJ builder parts.
Yeah, I think I had 3 pallets. 3 pallets to pick
Of
up.
builder parts on
Yeah,
this thing.
Exactly.
So if anybody wants to get those, 12% off for 12 rigs of Christmas.
There you go. There you go.
Build your own CJ5.
That's right.
Well, this thing definitely turned some heads. So I'm trying to figure out which one of these Santa wants to go on a ride. And so we'll have to figure that out. Oh, lap belts, seat belts.
Yeah, it's super safe.
Ooh, barely gets around Santa. Let me tell you, there's so much more room in an FJ than a Jeep. I mean, look at that. See how the brakes feel. Oh,
I told you,
they're
not bad,
great, huh?
You on a Land Cruiser, you got to keep the back adjusted up. That's your.
Is that what the trick is?
That's the trick is.
Well, because they have 2 wheel cylinders,
Yeah.
right?
You got to keep them adjusted. If you don't, then you'd be, the difference is amazing. One of the big differences, when I finally, I don't know why it takes so long, I put Fox shocks on it. Man.
Did that make a difference with the
I
leaf
can tell.
springs and the spring over?
Right, yeah, right away.
Was it? Would you say it's softer or
It's just
more
a
of a
smoother ride
predictable?
off road.
Yeah.
You know, when we're going, and I can tell. I've been driving this thing forever, almost 5 decades.
Yeah.
And one, spring overs are huge. And the reason I went spring overs, we did it to Connors,
Yeah.
and I'm driving out on one of the off-road roads we do, and I'm looking at my wife, and I'm like in a whole other gear. I'm like, this is weird.
It doesn't beat you up.
It just doesn't beat you up.
Well, the flatness of the spring allows the shock and the suspension to do the work. Right into a school zone. It does run really smooth, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Brandon, well, the OG one was fun, but you know which one Santa wants to drive, right? We might have to hit a little off-road, too.
Let's see what we can find.
Let me get situated here. So, look at that. Ooh, that's clean.
Oh yeah.
Feels good. No e-brake, huh?
Here,
But it's off.
but it's off.
All right. Detroit locker.
No, that's the Grizzly.
Same as the Grizzly.
Yeah.
So Grizzly is an exact copy of a Detroit locker. This one is way more rigid. Like less things are moving around.
I agree with that.
Like the body creaking on the frame and all the frame twisting and all that, you know? And then obviously the wide axles are gonna make it way more stable, right?
Yeah, it's a unique ride.
Well, we're starting first here. Little Detroit sidestep right there. Manual transmissions obviously amplify the feeling of a ratchet style locker like a Detroit or a Grizzly. So if this was an automatic, it would not pop as much.
Really interesting.
Completely different.
Huh.
So Detroit and automatic is completely different because like you're under the load and let off and it unratchets and then grabs again, and that's why you get that lane change type of a scenario. Once again, turning on a dime. That's what I'm talking about. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Santa.
All right, enough of this Toyota stuff.
Yeah.
It's Jeep time.
Do it.
Ta-da! Here we go. Oh. Okay. Padded roll bar. That's so that if you hit your head,
That's right.
at some point, I'll be in a padded room. Yeah. Ooh, not that V8 sound, is it?
Nope.
No. Wait, I forget, what transmission do we do in this one?
SM465.
Okay, so we got another granny low. Clutch is all the way at the bottom.
Yep.
Off we go. Oh look, tilted up a little. So moving the seat worked.
Right?
Because I'm comfortable in this bad boy. I always hated how the steering wheel is to the center of the Jeep on these early CJs. Like, you want it moved over.
But you call that comfortable?
I call this comfortable. when it's, are you kidding me? Have you ever sat in a flat fender?
I couldn't handle it.
Oh man, this is the Jeep life. You FJ guys don't get it. This is like a 9 out of 10 when it comes to Jeeps. Like, as far as fitting.
But with the Wrangler springs, the setup, it feels solid.
Oh, there's not a creak or rattle in the chassis or anything.
Yeah, no.
It does feel really nice. Whoa, see? You can't rush it on a 465.
Nope.
So she burned out a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta finesse it a little bit. Fun little rig.
Unbelievable. Puts a smile on Santa's face.
When I was young, I had this obsession with things that go wrong in the night. People avoided me, neighbors annoyed me, saying that girl, she's not right in the head. But I don't care what they say, they're the ones who's crazy. I just wanna do my thing, they don't have to face it. They say I'm a lunatic because I dress in black, but they better watch out, watch out with my axe. Hold up my face, hold up my face. Rock your love, Frankenstein, they're my number one. Hold up my face, hold up my face. This is from the dead of me.
Don't forget, from now till the end of the year, 12% off on the WFO website on all WFO products. Some deals on some other stuff like shocks, Fox, King. Till the end of the year, get you some parts. Merry Christmas.